Hello and welcome to another Wednesday vlog. So this week's thought is all about the time outside of sessions. So you may well run a session for 2 hours, you may well run for 3, you may well run it for a full day. And hopefully you get paid for that. And that is a certain amount. Now, what we often miss is the amount of time spent outside of it. So for example, today I have two 2-hour sessions. In the morning, we are going to be making some willow fish. And in the afternoon, we've got some campfire donuts happening. Now, that's simple enough, but I haven't made anything with willow before. So I had to basically get the willow into soak, get the willow into soak a week before. Then I had to have a practice session, so I know kind of what I'm doing. I mean, we can explore things together, and that's part of what you do, is that you explore activities together, and there are some groups that end up being my guinea pigs more often than not. But that's great because that just shows that there's a learning process, and if we always giving the children this perfect model of what everything should look like, rather than something that's a little less than perfect, then it's disheartening because nobody's first effort looks perfect. So yeah, I spent an hour or so having a go with willow. That was a whole lot of fun. And then I had to get all of the equipment together, so that took me about an hour and a half, because I've got it down. It's just grab that kit, grab that kit, and then it's like, okay, donuts. Well, I haven't made those before, so I should probably test those out. Made up a donut mixture, fried it, had a taste, gave some to my partner so that she can also give me some feedback on it. Went, okay, yeah. Made a couple of tweaks, tried it again, and ended up with a workable recipe. Fantastic. Now I need to go out and buy the ingredients for that. So off to the shops, our round trip with everything included, get some kindling while I'm there, and there we go. So got the ingredients. Again, I need to pack the ingredients into bags. Because it's outdoors, flour needs to be in Tupperwares rather than in the paper bags, because the paper bags will disintegrate in no time at all. So then I've got my boots that I completely forgot about. They're all muddy from a weekend away, so yeah, I had to clean those up. And another thing that happened while I was away at the camp was I ripped a massive tear into my group top. The water load, it wasn't set to drain correctly, and because of another top that was next to it and everything else, and overnight there was a little bit of a weak patch where I'd kind of melted the edge, and it all combined together into a 1 meter long tear into the group top, which is not ideal. So cue half an hour to an hour of research on how to patch it, then work in another sort of hour or so to actually do the patching work. Quite happy with it, hoping that it holds up. So got about 2 hours worth after everything arrived that I needed to patch it up with. So yep, top patched, all sorted, got a new ridgeline on it. Fantastic. And that's when I kind of sent out my messages. Hey, this is what we're doing tomorrow. Really cool stuff. Hope you enjoy it. And then, of course, because this prompts people, then I get get messages back about illnesses, or that people might be late because of this or that, and which is totally fine. Yep. So I take a bit of time, answer all of those messages, answer a couple of emails while I'm at it, get the receipts onto the accounting system. You can see what I'm getting at here, that those 4 hours of contact time, never mind the travel, never mind packing the van and everything in the morning, never mind the time I spent last week going over hill and dale to set up an orienteering course. It's a definite time burden. I would say I spend minimum half a day, probably closer to a day aggregate over the course of a week to deliver 1 day's worth of activities. Now there are ways to pare that down. Obviously not everyone runs quite as activity heavy sessions, but everyone has their own stuff, whether they need to clean up tops and clean the mud off things after a session, whether they're gathering resources beforehand. There's always something to do, and if you don't take that into account, if you don't plan for it, you will burn yourself out, because you will be doing all of that extra time, and unless you've allocated time for it, unless you've allocated money to go towards that time you're spending, you are going to be working long hours for not very much. And yeah, that's, to be honest, we kind of accept it because we enjoy what we're doing, but I don't think those things should be mutually exclusive. You should be able to earn a living and enjoy what you're doing. It's just making it work and planning around it. So I will leave it quite short today. It's short and sweet. I hope you have a great week. Make the most of every day, and I'll see you next time.